2, 1.
Hello and welcome attendees of Furality Aqua to Countdown VR, the virtual game of letters, numbers, and conundrums. My name is Tokens, and I'll be your host for today. A little about myself: I'm a programmer by trade with an affinity for retro arcade machines. I love building and fixing and repairing them, also in fursuit on my TikTok page. But another thing I'm big into is classic game shows like the one you see right here. In fact, this entire panel that you're watching right now is being presented by the members of the Game Show Furs community. As the name suggests, it's a community of people in the furry fandom, like myself and all these people around here, who like classic game shows and come together to build and host true-to-life recreations of these classic game shows in VR chat, streamed on Twitch. Everything from Wheel of Fortune to Jeopardy, Pass the Buck to Pyramid. We've got and of course, the game we're playing right now, Countdown. We've got a couple of members of the show, of our community right now, here to play a fun game for you all. And that's not all, because not only are we going to be playing a fun game today, we're also going to be taking you behind the scenes after the game into the control booth, where my good friend Nidonocu and I, who are the co-creators of this world you see right here, will tell you the ins and outs of how we made this world, how we make an episode like this come together, and how we can have you, yes, you, be the next members of the Game Show First community if you want to join us and have some fun. So without further ado, let's introduce the two contestants we have for today's show, Bond Maple Wolf and Crash McCloud. Welcome aboard, guys.
Hey, guys. Hey, Furality.
Hello.
All right, then, starting on the far end, Bond Maple Wolf, a resident streamer. How are you doing?
I do well. I am Bond. I am from Ontario, Canada. I do a variety streaming on Twitch, as you mentioned, and if it's not gaming, I am also helping to stream these game shows.
Oh yes, he's very much a regular. He and Crash both are very regular streamers in our community who help put these game shows out in the world. Very good person you are. And what's a popular game what's a fun game you're playing right now on your Twitch right now? What's something that's been on your side?
So far, I have been with some select folks. We've been doing some Mario Kart. If it's not that, then it's Satisfactory.
All right, then. Good job. All right, then. Well, good show. Thank you very much. Wish you best luck today's game. And over on my right here is Crash McCloud, another streamer. Tell us a bit about yourself, bud.
Thank you, Tokens. Hi, Furality. I'm Crash McCloud. I am a streamer for this community, also a TikToker. We just passed 1,000 follows as of this morning.
All right, then. Congratulations to you, Crash. 1,000 followers. Making it up there. All right, then. So, anything else you want to say to your opposition and in general to the Furality audience?
I hope you guys play along with us inside the chats. Me and Bond have been back and forth in this game so far, prepping for this event.
All right, then. So, best of luck to both of our players. Now, in terms of the other people on staff right here, we have none other than the letters board. We have the dragon from a land down under, Volt Ashkor.
G'day, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful convention.
All right, then. You certainly look like a decked-out dragon right there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm probably going to try and find some clips and upload these to my TikTok, which I also have, if you want to check that out.
All right, then. Now, see, anytime we have a game show, you got to have a little bit of eye candy, and I'd say a big, handsome dragon right there certainly appeals to the, well, let's say, the majority target demographic of what these kind of conventions go for. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You've got plenty of experience with that.
We know what you're here for. And finally, judging the proceedings is none other than the secret agent himself, Secret Squirrel. Welcome aboard.
Well, good afternoon, Tokens, and good insert day part here to all of you watching us over Twitch. Again, we invite you to play along. We hope you enjoy the show.
All right, then. Yep, Secret will be the one judging the proceedings of today's game, making sure there's fair play among all, and also telling us how good we could have done as we go into our first round of gameplay, and that will be the letters game. And here's how it works. In each round, one of the two players will be drawing letters from 2 decks of cards, a deck of consonants and vowels, drawing a total of 9, and then once those letters are drawn, a 30-second countdown will start, in which the players will have 30 seconds to try and make as long of a word as they can using only the letters that have been dealt on the board, knowing that they can't use a letter more than it appears. The player with the longest word will earn 1 point for every letter in the word. If they both make a word of the same word or the same length, the same word or the same length of word, they both get points, and 9-letter words are worth double points. And there's 2 additional things I want to emphasize right here. First is that if you're watching this right now, be it on Twitch or in the Discord chat right now, I highly encourage that you guys play along as well, because if you put your answers down in the comments, we're going to be reading some of your responses, especially if you got some good ones there. And also, this is not just for fun. We're also doing this for charity as well. I will be pledging $1 for every point that is won by the winning player to the Save a Fox Rescue charity, which is what Furality's charity is. For more information about that, go to saveafox.org. So without further ado, the player to my farthest end will be going first. That's you, Bon. Let the game begin.
All right, thank you, Tokens. Hello, Vault. We are going to start with a vowel, please.
Of course. And your first vowel is the letter A.
Ah, very nice. Consonant, please.
Certainly, my friend. We have G.
Consonant.
S.
All right, we'll take another consonant, please.
Very well. Ooh, tricky. X.
Uh-oh.
Marks the spot.
Vowel.
We have some E.
Okay, and we're going to put another vowel there.
We have an I.
And consonant.
We have an M.
2 spaces, right? Yeah, okay. Consonant.
Yes. S. And what would you like for your last one?
And that will be the 4th vowel, please.
Very well, then. Your final vowel and final letter is O.
All right, then. So those are the letters A, G, S, X, E, I, M, S, O. Remember, the objective is you have 30 seconds to try and make as long a word as you can using only those letters. Twitch, if you're watching this right now, put your answers in the comments. Your 30-second countdown starts now. All right, put your pencils down, and by pencils, I mean your virtual keyboards that you have behind your desks. We'll start off with Bon. How many letters are in the word you just came up with?
Well, that X threw me off, so I'm calling 4.
Calling 4. And Crash, how many you got?
I actually made use of the X and got 6.
6. All right, then. So potentially a strong start here. And Bon, what was your 4-letter word?
Sage. S-A-G-E.
Ah, yes, like a wise sage. And Crash, what was your 6-letter word?
Sexism.
Oh dear. Well, that is a dear
SEXISM.
valid. Yes, that is not something we generally encourage, but it did earn you 6 points right here. So, with that being said, with 6 letters in the word, you've earned 6 points and have taken first blood in this game. Now we're going to go over to Secret Squirrel and ask him, hey, how did the chat do in this round?
Well, the chat found a bunch of 6s as well, and 6 is tops, in fact. Whispers Music in the Twitch chat came up with sexism as well as Crash did, and in the Discord we had a lot of sexisms as well as ageism.
Sexism and ageism in Discord. There's a joke to be made there, but I'm not going to be the one to make it right here. I'm just going to say that 6 points goes to Crash. Good job for your first round. As we move on to the next round of letters with Crash in control of the letters. Take your picks.
Thank you, Tokens. Hello, Volts. Let's start with a consonant, please.
Very well then, Crash. Your first consonant is the letter S.
Second consonant.
And your second consonant is the letter L.
Vowel, please.
E.
Vowel, please.
Another E.
Consonant.
I swear to God.
See what we get. There we got a G.
Consonant, please.
Certainly, we have a C.
Vowel.
Our next vowel is the letter A.
Okay. Consonant and one more vowel.
And one more of each. We first of all have the letter T. And finally, the letter I.
Okay.
All right, then, players. Those are your letters for round 2. What can you make? See what you can do. Time starts now. All right, then. And we're going to move on to our next thing right here. Crash, how much you got?
I only got a 5 this time.
Only a 5. And Bond, what you got?
Okay, well, thankfully, I'm going to call 5 as well.
Okay, so potential tie right here. Crash, what is your 5?
Slice. SLICE.
Okay, slice, very nice. And Bond, what is your 5-letter word?
Gates. Gates.
Gates. All right, then. Those are both acceptable words that can be made with that set. So with that being said, you both earn 5 points, bring the score up to 5v11. Now, Secret, how was the chat this time? And could we do any better than 5?
Yes, there are a pair of 8s. And Master Wolf 16 in our Discord, as well as Song Redwood, they both got legacies.
Well done.
All right, very
nice.
Oh, you certainly made you certainly make a legacy in the chat right there. Very good work from our viewers right now. See, you guys are. I think you guys would be doing fantastic if you came on to one of these events that we host on the regular right here. But I'll discuss that a little later. All right, then. So with that being said, we are 2 rounds in. Score is 5v11 with Crash in the lead. We're going to take a break from the letters game right now and move on to our next portion of the show, the numbers game. And here's how this works. On that, in front of the board right there, we have a table of 24 different number cards, consisting of 4 big numbers, 25, 50, 75, and 100, and 20 small numbers, 2 of each of the numbers 1 through 10. In each of these rounds, one of the players will be picking a total of 6 cards from this table. We'll be placing them up on the board, and then Vault will hit that magic button and randomly generate a 3-digit target number, and then the players will have 30 seconds to make a math equation that equals as close to that target number as they can, above or below, within 10, and the closer you are able to get to the target, the more points you get. 6 to 10 away is worth 5 points, 1 to 5 away is worth 7, and a bullseye is worth 10. You don't have to use all the numbers, but again, like the letters round, you can only use a number as many times as it appears. Bond, take your picks. How many bigs and smalls?
We are going to make it 2 large and 4 small, please, in any spot.
I can do that for you. So we're going to start off with 75 and 25 as our 2 large numbers. Your first 2 small numbers are 5 and 1. And rounding it off with 9 and 8. And your target is 387.
Okay, 387 is the target to reach. Let's see if our players can break out those arithmetic skills. Your time starts now. All right, players, time is up. Bond, how close were you able to get?
Well, I tried poking a few ways, but I'm not seeing anything right now.
Okay, so that's a bust from you. All right, then. And as for Crash, how close did you get?
I got 385.
385.
nice.
That'd be a potential 3 away. All right, then. Please explain your methodology. Crash, 1 step at a time, and we'll draw it out on the whiteboard.
Start out with 75 times 5.
75
375.
times 5 is 375 indeed.
375 plus 9 plus 1 for 385.
Plus 1, 3, 8, 5, 2 points away.
All right, then, 2 points away, is what I meant to say earlier. All right, then, so with 2 points away, that nets Crash a total of 7 points. All right, then, good job for you. Your score is now brought up to a total of 18 right now. But, Volt, could we have done this puzzle perfectly?
We could indeed do it perfectly. So, you start
all right,
off
show us
with
how it could have been done.
75 minus 25, that is 50. 50 times by 8 is 400. Then you take the 5 minus the 1 is 4. Then you add that to the 9 to give yourself 13. Then you take 13 away from 400. 400 minus 13 is 387.
My oh my, 4 or 5. My oh my, that was about 4 or 5 steps. So this was not an easy puzzle for these players. Well, either way, the score is now 5v18, and we are moving back to the letters, and Crash is back in control of those. Let's see if he can keep his lead going. Take it away.
Thank you, Tokens. Volt, let's start with a vowel, please.
I can indeed do that. We're going to start with an E.
And consonant.
S.
Consonant.
D.
Vowel.
E.
Vowel, please.
U.
Consonant.
R.
Consonant.
B.
Vowel.
A.
And consonant.
And your last letter is another R.
All right, then. Interesting set of letters we got right there. U's and B's aren't the easiest to use, but let's see what our players can make of it. Here we go. Time starts now. Not the easiest thing. All right, then. First, we're going to go to Crash. How many letters you got?
I only got a 5.
Only a
Figure this
5
out.
this time. And Bon?
Okay, just for giggles, I am going to try for 8.
An 8. Okay, well, this could be substantial. This could be a jump here. All right, Crash, what is your 5?
Radar.
Radar.
And I just- never
R-A-D-A.
mind. There's
Huh?
only one A.
No,
There's only one A.
Oh,
only one A.
oh, you
Mhm.
used the letter more than once. That means that's a bust for Crash. Now, Bon, possible risky 8. What did you suggest for this?
Okay, I spelled it R-E-A-S-U-R-E-D. Reassured, or is that 2 S's?
That is a double S.
That requires
It is
it.
a
It
double
requires
S.
a double S. Requires a double
Okay.
S.
Oof.
I was looking
Oh,
on the
my
$8.
goodness.
Like I said, just for giggles.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
worth a
right,
shot.
then. So, yeah, it was worth a shot. Both players shot their shots, but unfortunately, we had a double bust this round. That's unfortunate. So the scores stay the same at 5v18. Secret, what did the chat make of this set of letters?
Okay, the crash or the chat. Metro Fox came up with earbuds for a 7.
All
Oh,
right, then.
cute.
So that's a nice set of words there. We all know what a pair of earbuds are. And was that the largest word we could have made with this secret?
That 7 was the top, and there were a bunch of 7s.
All right, then. Well, looks like, can't win them all the time. And right now we are at, again, 5v18. We have one more round of letters to play right here, and it's going to be in Bond's control. This could be crucial. Choose your letters carefully.
Okay. All right. We are going to start with the consonant, please.
Very well then. Your first letter is N.
Consonant.
L.
And consonant.
And we have R.
Vowel.
First vowel is the letter A.
Consonant.
You have another R.
And then vowel.
We have an E.
Consonant.
Third R.
Awesome. Well, I guess we better put a vowel in there.
I agree with that statement. And you're going to get another A.
All right, and then we'll do another consonant.
And to finish it all off, you have a G.
All right, we have one last round of letters to play in this game. Call me crazy, but I think I might see a 5, but I'm not entirely sure of it. Time starts now. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, Bond, how many letters in your word?
Okay, this is a little more interesting. I have 6.
A 6 and Crash.
I only got a 5.
Oh, okay. So Crash, what's your 5?
Glare. Glare.
Like the glare of a windshield, or the glare on your phone. All right then. And Bond, what's your 6?
Ranger. Ranger.
Like a forest ranger. That does look good. Secrets is nodding his head yes, so that is indeed a valid word. With that, you take this round and you jump your score up to 11. You are now starting to close the gap between you and Crash here. So with 11 v 18, that's looking pretty good. Secret, could we do any better?
There is an 8. And several people in the chat came up with it, including Justin Wolf 24. It is a ranger. A-R-R-A-N-G-E-R.
A ranger.
Close.
Someone who
So close,
someone who
Bond.
arranges things. Sometimes that happens like that. It's like sometimes you're close, and then it's just like, oh, there was just more to it than what you thought. Well, that is the end of the letters round. Again, score 11 v 18. We are moving on to one last round of the numbers game, and it will be in Crash's hands now. How many bigs and how many smalls?
Thank you, Tokens. Volt, 1 big and 5 small, please.
Very tricky potentials here. So we're starting off with 50. We next have 1 and 2. And our final smalls are
I think the two's
10,
crooked.
6, and another 6. Yes, I will get that.
Hang on, I think the two's crooked. Yep, there we are. There you go.
So 50, 1, 2, 10, 6, 6, and your target is 427.
All right, then. That seems like a reasonable target to reach. Let's see if our players can make something out of this. And your time starts now. Sorry, I just really like that theme tune. Anyways, so, Crash, how close were you able to get?
I got 416 out of it.
416, that is,
Hey, Nerdy,
that's 11 away. Not quite close enough, I'm afraid. And Bond, how close did you get?
No, I was in the low 400s, so no.
Low 400. Oh, dear, a double bust again. Unfortunately, that means no points awarded for either player.
I will still throw $10 in as if we got it perfect.
All right, then. So, Volt, could we have done this puzzle perfectly?
We actually could have. So you're going to start off with 6 plus 2. That's 8.
Right.
We'll need that in a moment. Your next step is 50 minus that 8 to give you 42. That is a very bad 42. I apologize for that. Next up, you have 42 times by the 10 to give you 420. And then you add on the 6 and the 1, and you get 427 on the dot.
All
Nice.
right.
Very nice.
All right, then. So again, it looks like, again, it all depends on random chance, and it looks like the RNG gods were a little more spiteful this time around. Well, the status of the game right now is that it's 11v18. We're still going to be donating some stuff to the charity, and as that being said, we're done with the letters, we're done with the numbers, and as I said in the intro, it is now time for the final order of business, the conundrum, and here's how it works. In this round, we are basically going to present the players a 9-letter word that has been anagrammed into 2 different words. For instance, China lung is an anagram of the word launching. We're going to start the clock one last time, and both players will take a look at the word, and then if they think they know what the conundrum is, they'll hit their buzzers, the clock will stop, and they'll have a chance to take a guess. If they're correct, they will earn 10 points. If not, then the opposing player will have the remaining time dedicated to them. And if you look at those scores right now, 11v18, you'll notice that the players are within 10 points of each other, which makes this a crucial countdown conundrum. So, Bon, this is your last chance to turn this game around. If you can buzz in and give me the correct answer to the conundrum, you will win. If not, Crash will win. So, ladies and gentlemen, members of Furality, here is, for 10 points, here is your 9-letter crucial countdown conundrum. Looks like this one's looks like this one's stumped. Oh wait, you say you just a bit too late?
Yeah, it's too late.
All right then. Well, anyway, well, Secret, did anyone in the chat seem to have a reasonable guess?
At the very last second, Lucarian Scout came up with rheumatic.
Rheumatic. All right then. Is the correct answer to the conundrum rheumatic? All right, then. It is indeed rheumatic. All right, then. So with a score of 11v18, Crash McCloud wins the game with 8. is the winner of today's game. And with that being said, we're going to, that's 18 points to the charity. But what's that, Crash? You're going to match that, you said?
I'm not only going to match it, I'm going to just round everything up. So I'm going to give a full $50 to the charity.
50 plus the 18. And I think, Kelchan, you're saying something too? All right, then.
Yeah,
I believe Kelchan said he was going to be matched. All right, so I've run out of math in my brain right now, but that means we've got a decent amount of money going ahead to the con charity. So first, let's give a round of applause for Crash McCloud for being the winner of today's game. All right, then.
Well done,
So that being said, this is normally the part of the show where we play the outro cue and tell you, hey, goodbye, everybody, thanks for coming. But of course, we're not done here. You've seen how one of these games work. Now, first, I want to ask you, how'd you enjoy the show? Because believe it or not, we do this thing here in the Game Show community. We do this multiple times a week. Most commonly on Tuesdays and Saturdays, start at 7 p.m. We have a whole marathon of game shows that we play right here in VR chat that you guys can make like the Price is Right and come on down. A whole gambit of game shows. Props to you if you get what the pun was there. So if you want to join into that community, our friend Tyson will be dropping some links in the chat to our Discord group. So if you want to join in and get the schedule for what our next shows are, you can go ahead and join that. And also, I should also mention that at the end of this show, at the end of the hour, we're going to be dropping another link in the chat to a public instance of the world we're in right now. So if you want to come chat with us and talk to us and get a little more info about it, you can go do that. But with that, I think it's time to go behind the scenes and up to the control booth over to my good friend Nidonocu. Take it away, my friend.
Hi, Tokens. Yes, welcome up here to the control booth, or as we call it in TV land, the gallery. Let me just sort things out here. So yeah, my name is Nidonocu. Or just Nido for short. I am a virtual griffin, and I helped create this world. I did a lot of the modeling stuff, and I helped build some of the TV system. And today we're keen to show you a bit of the behind the scenes over here. So let's just take you over.
All right then, let's get going.
So yeah, to tell you a bit about myself, my background is that I'm a web software developer, and I'm also staff for the largest furcon in the UK, Confuzzled. I've done performance work there for the Paw Pet Show, where I'm a writer and also a performer for that. I'm also obviously British myself, which, when it came to chatting with Tokens and him telling me about this faint, quaint afternoon tea time game show, I had the benefit of actually knowing what he was talking about. Tokens, did anybody in the US even know what Countdown was until you started explaining it?
With the exception of a few people from the game show group, absolutely no one knew about this show because as popular as over here, it is completely unheard of in the US. That being said, when I did show them the game and show them a few episodes, they seem to really take a liking to it. What's appealing about this game is that, it encourages a lot of smarts. It really is a game where the smartest, person, I think, or most skilled person, I think, really ends up winning. And plus, unlike games like Jeopardy, you don't need to do anything like write questions except for the conundrum. Most of the game's pretty random. So I thought this was a good thing for a good game for us to maybe go and start developing here.
Yeah. So when we started creating this thing, a big thing of our community is that we want to recreate the game shows as accurately as possible. These TV show sets, either as they appeared back in the day, if it's an old off-the-air show now, or as they do today. For example, I started by studying the modern look of the Countdown set, and then I recreated elements of it in Blender. Now, for today's show, obviously, we redecorated heavily, but this is what our set normally looks like. We really tried to make sure it captures as many of the details as possible, things like lighting and making it work for VR play. And here it is with a photo of, I think that's the 2017 set, so it's a little bit different, but it's not too changed from the new 2020 set, which is what R1 is right here. Now, along with our show here, there's a number of we've got tons of different shows within the game show community. This one is probably more well known by a lot of people, Hollywood Squares, or as I believe we called it over in the UK, Celebrity Squares.
Yes, that's what it was called.
This one is quite a fun set to play around in VR. We also have another classic US show called Pyramid. Both of these were created by Domafox, who also helped us out with some of the letters and numbers in the background of the graphics that you can see on our set. It's set here.
Shout out to you, Doma.
We also have this one, which is incredibly popular and very often played like weekly within our community, isn't it? This one's called...
Yes, it is.
This is the infamous Wheel of Fortune. This one's created by GS Genesis, who's a prolific builder within our community and has built tons of shows, like a whole hub of them. One of his more recent creations, this is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which was absolutely one of my favorite shows when I was growing up. It's got all the lighting, the music, even all the graphics that everybody's very familiar with. I love this one, and I think it's a really great recreation. Now, when it came to this world, myself and Tokens, we wanted to work collaboratively so we could both learn off each other and get the project completed quickly in time for, the Starlight Foundation drive in March?
Yeah, Starlight Children's Foundation charity drive for March 10th, or the Mario Week, basically, kind of a gaming theme type thing.
Yeah, and we only had we started the project in New Year, so it was a bit of a tight turnaround. Now, the way that works
New Year's to about 3 months. Yep.
Yeah, so Tokens, you worked on the back-end systems, didn't you? Like the game drawing, like the card drawing things and such.
Yes. Yes, my primary role in this project, as you can see by the programmer equivalent, art equivalent for 3D modeling there, I was the back-end developer for the game logic. So anything involved, the numbers distribution, the letters, the scoreboard, the clock, all that was my doing. And this was done in part because I actually had some previous experience with programming this kind of thing, because way back in my sophomore year of college, back in 2014, I think, I actually made my own version of Countdown using Java JFrame components, if anyone remembers what those things are. And I just kind of did that for fun, played it with friends. And in fact, so when it came to making this game, I already had kind of a foot in the door. And in fact, I was able to actually repurpose some of this code, updating it a little bit and cleaning it up, because I picked up a few more programming skills in the 7 years since or so, and translated all to C#. So yeah, a little bit of that old project of mine actually still lives within this world right now.
Yeah. So meanwhile, I started work on the modeling. Here's the, as always, it's important to take the very first screenshot of the world, when it was a big white square with a few hexagons in it and a mirror, because it's a VR chat world and it doesn't actually exist if it doesn't have a mirror. So that was the important first step. The hexagons are quite a useful thing that I use in any of my world building that I do. They provide me a standard size so that I know how big things are. Given we have sometimes Volt being a 9-foot-tall dragon, and we could have everything from tiny little Lavali running around, you need to make sure that the world is still functional for people of different size. It's a weird accessibility problem that only exists in VR. This, for example, is me working out how the main desk look with standard sized players. Another big part of that is also the interface for everything here. So, you go to a lot of worlds and they sometimes have buttons on the wall and you have to walk over and click them. You can't reach them because you're being a tiny Avali today.
Yeah, the cube buttons. Yeah.
So we decided to go with a much more, a flat system here of having the Unity UI system. This means that you can reach it from far away. I can even touch those panels from over here using the laser pointer. That's one element of what we did here today. Another bit of stuff that we had to do here was modeling
our lobby area.
The lobby area. So when you arrive into our studio, you don't get taken straight into here. You arrive in this nice lobby that I made. This does a number of useful things. One, it means that you spawn in without necessarily disrupting the show if it's in progress. Provides us a place to put things like our rules, updates, about information. But it's also generally useful as another thing of world accessibility, which is having a space to move back to. If you're, doing this today, does make, performing in front of people, be it, our normal smaller audiences just in front of each other, or a massive Twitch audience, it can be a bit overwhelming. So having a place that you could go back to, get out of the studio for a bit, take a bit of a mental health break, and then come back, I feel that's really important. And it's something that world creators need to take into account when they're building worlds and things. Think about places that people can retreat to and then rejoin the group later. So as we started doing our studio build out, we had started getting the set created. It was all coming along quite well. But then we needed to start working out how to bring some of Tokens' work in. Now, we use GitHub to share project files, but to avoid merge conflicts, I created a second reintegration scene. This had parts of the model work that I'd done, but it was so that Tokens could work on it without interrupting our main scene and making Unity unhappy. This is what that looked like, a little bit all under construction. How did you find working that way, Tokens?
I found working that way to be actually quite effective because, as I may have mentioned before, while I have had previous experience with programming and Unity in general for some college projects, this was my first time doing anything related to VR chat world or avatar or anything VR chat development. So I had to pick up a lot of things, very quickly. And you were, I would say, an amazing mentor in that respect, I got to say, Nido. But this sort of split world system allowed me to basically go and sandbox my way through learning all this stuff without interfering with his stuff, so that, and vice versa, while he was doing stuff he already knew how to do, I wasn't suddenly bombarded with what the heck is this, so that when we were both ready on our respective parts, we were able to pretty seamlessly integrate our stuff together. We didn't really have any major issues when it came to making the two worlds collide, did we?
No, it helped solve that problem a fair bit. Now, another main thing that we have is, of course, the letters and numbers board. That's a big thing that we have to work with in this show. Could you explain this?
It's probability. Yeah. Anyway, so So one of the things that we try to achieve with these game show worlds is that we wanted them to be more than just games, like recreations or simulations of the games themselves. We wanted them to be something that was, well, virtual. We wanted to, because on the show, there is a hostess who is pulling cards out of a physical deck and putting them on the board. And while I could have done, the button configuration for, just having, make a letter appear, which is what I did for my little programmer art world, that wasn't going to be good enough. We wanted to give the people not only the experience of playing the game, but actually feeling like they're on set. They are the hostess putting the cards on the board and having that kind of physical interaction. There's a stage, there's lights, to really give the feeling that they are actually part, and in very many ways they are part of a television production. The way we run these things is not dissimilar to how actual TV stuff is done, just in a very specialized scale here.
Yeah. So, here's a little bit of the behind the scenes on that. It's quite a complicated setup that requires tons of different objects in order to make everything work together. I won't go into that now because I don't think we've got time on it. But this is just something that we had to deal with. You also worked on the clock, didn't you, Tokens?
Yes, the clock was also a clock and other sorts of gameplay elements, because one of the other things important in a game show type thing is also syncing everything together, because, opposed to a hangout world where, you can have maybe a few objects separated out. Here, everything from the scores to the letters to the clock and the buzzers, everything needs to be synced to the tightest of degree, because especially in segments like the conundrum back there, a few milliseconds difference could make the difference between whether or not someone wins or loses the game. So when we were programming the buzzer code, we actually did some various techniques to account for the fact that there might be a little bit of latency, and check for that to make sure that that there's in total as much fair play as possible, and just make sure things are synced not only quickly but efficiently as well, because there's a lot of data to transfer, to make sure that all these things are cohesive together and that everyone's seeing the same thing.
Yeah, this is a screenshot from me doing some network testing where I had 4 versions of VRChat running on one computer at once in order to simulate all the players. That made my computer melt. So the other big thing we wanted to show here today was our TV system. This is an early version that I built actually for an event for Confuzzled. This, as you can see, very sort of similar to what we've got here today, but it did require a fair bit of expansion out from this. So let me show you what we've got here there. Over here, we've got our audio system. This lets us control who can actually talk in the world and who can't. It's pretty important to make sure that only players who are, speaking are actually taking part, and the people who are on the same team, they can't. If we're having a 2-person team, they can't hear each other. We also have here all our screens, which show us all the live camera feeds around the studio, which is very useful for picking shots. I can see which one's highlighted by the colors, etc. Up here, we have a preview and a program, so I can check what a shot looks like, and then when we're definitely ready to go, we mix to it by actually picking it. Then over here, we have the various graphics we can do and some various gameplay elements. Tokens, do you want to quickly talk about the game score system or the game control?
Yes, so this whole control panel right here is pretty much my doing. This gives the operators quick access to the most essential features of the game, including increasing the score by different amounts. Like I can go ahead and, you got 5, you got 10, or if they manage to get a 9-letter word, there's the whopping 18 right there. That would have been a very crucial thing. So it makes it so that everything is intuitive and everything just kind of makes sense right here. We try to make we make a big effort to talk with our communities and the people who will be operating these worlds, who it's not going to be us all the time, to make sure that the interfaces make sense. We can swap between game modes on the fly between the letters game, numbers game, and of course the conundrum. And unlike a lot of worlds that depend on, importing in, JPEGs and other things for questions and other sort of clue data, we have our little keyboard thing right here where we can you want to put a thing in, you just type it in. That's all you got to do. You just type it in. No need to rebake the world. No need to re-upload anything. You can type in whatever you want. And if you notice on the screen over here, we have this thing called preview and mix. And when I change the game modes, hey, in a sec, that's where the letters are supposed to go. How does that work, Nido?
Yep, so we have a fun thing here where this is not just a camera switcher, it's a vision mixer. So it actually lets us put 2 screens at the same time and have, so we can see what's going on, and I can mix those 2 together, and we can have anything that we like appear at the same time as the feed from one of the boards. So that's quite useful. This is definitely one of our more advanced systems that we have in our shows.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
If we don't, do we have enough time for the glitch talk, or do we want to go straight to Q&A?
We could go straight to Q&A if we want. I think that'll probably be better if we've got time.
Okay, so Volt, have you come up here, and we'll go for the Q&A session right here. So I'm eager. So if you got any questions about how we made this world or anything of the following, come right up here, and we'll see what you got. So get to the asking. I'm just killing time right now until we see. And here's Volt's back. Volt is back. All right.
Yeah.
I'm here, and I've got the chat open. All right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll show myself. I'll be more eye candy for you guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey there, handsome.
All right. Let's see. Anything? Alex the Circle asked, "What about Quest people? People using Quest consoles? Is this Quest compatible?"
Yes. This
that
right
is
now for Furality, because we had to make a lot of changes to redecorate. It's a little bit out of sync, but our normal thing for this world is that we do try to keep it Quest compatible, and we're working to get other worlds Quest compatible, aren't we?
Yes, we actually recently had a Quest-compatible version of this particular world. In fact, I believe this is the first of all the game show worlds around there that had a Quest-compatible version. There is a few bugs to work out in terms of the synchronizing. Apparently, there's a little bit of discrepancy between Quest and desktop users that we didn't know we had taken into account. But otherwise, the only thing that isn't quite fully working in Quest mode is the video player, and we think we've already got a solution doing that. So Quest compatibility is, we had to take it down just for, safety's sake today, but it is very much it's, I'd say about 90% complete, I'd say is a reasonable guess. Yeah. Plus?
Yeah.
All right, then.
Yeah.
So, that's on the radar. Very much so.
Done a lot of work on this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have just seen that we are running a little bit close to time, so we may have time for one more question, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to we're planning to check the Q&A for people's questions to feedback them there, but we're also going to open up, aren't we?
Yes. After this last question, we are going to be, our friend Tyson will be dropping a link to a public instance of this same world, which we will swap over to right as the broadcast ends. And if you want to keep talking to us or get more information about the community, you can do that. One last question.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a couple of them here. Let's go. Oh. Nope. Okay. I thought I heard something from over there. Never mind.
No.
All right. We've actually got, were there any major challenges when creating this world?
I can quickly show that, which is we had one big bug, which was a memory leak, wasn't it? We effectively, you think it was like the textures, the cameras, all of this elaborate stuff. No, it was text strings. We accidentally filled up everybody's computers with text strings by doing bad string manipulation, and it was crashing players.
Yeah,
this
you know that thing where you do
string when you're making video games.
Yeah, because all we did was the standard string, quote, string plus string, which everybody who's ever programmed before knows that that's the most basic and rudimentary way to do it. But without getting too much detail, doing it that way created a bunch of new objects and new strings every time there was a refresh, and it quickly bloated everyone's computer. I think one of us had like 17 gigs of RAM taken up just by this world at its peak. So that was probably the biggest challenge. That was a heck of a bug to squash. That was a heck. That was the biggest challenge because that.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing to watch you guys try and sort out because it took you a few goes, but you persevered, and I'm glad you did because this is probably one of my favorite worlds that we do.
I'm glad you think so. But with that being said, I think we want to cue that music.
Shall I There we go.
Yep. All right, then. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Tokens and Nidonocu speaking for Countdown VR. First, I want to thank all the staff at Furality for giving us this amazing opportunity to show that we have to do. We also want to thank all the staff down there that part of the Game Show Beauty, everyone from Kel-chan, the Secret Squirrel, the contestants, Bon Maple Wolf, and Crash McCrowd. Everyone's been a fantastic group here. And like I said, if you want to join us in the group, don't forget we have links to our Discord things in the Discord links and the Twitch strat. And don't forget, we'll be also joining another public instance of this world soon. This has been Token speaking for Countdown VR. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy Furality Aqua and have a good day.
Bye, everybody.